Hey there and welcome to the February 2023 update for the Dallas-Fort Worth, North Texas housing market. I'm Chase Hansen, your DFW Realtor. Every month I'm here unpacking what it's really like for home buyers and sellers out there today, not based on headlines and hot takes, but what me and my team are actually seeing, working with clients every day, and what we're hearing from the real estate professionals we connect with throughout the area. Not only that, but I'll break down the numbers, looking at one of the top factors influencing the housing market, where it's at, where it's going, so you can be informed as a consumer in this marketplace. As we move into February, I can tell you the 2023 market started quickly and things have been humming along with more buyers out searching and more homes selling more quickly. With the mortgage rates trending down over the last 2 months now, more buyers have found it easier to afford a house and are stepping back into the market after waiting through the fall and start of winter. If you're one of those people who have been waiting to start looking but are thinking in that direction, I have a great resource for you. My 2023 Buyer's Guide video walks you through the process of buying a house step by step so you can start off on the right foot. Make sure to check that out after this video, but first, let me give you the news on the ground. Now, this is the part of the update where I give you the on-the-ground report of what it's like to be a buyer or seller in today's market, what you can expect if you're out there today. Like I said in my intro, houses are selling again and buyers are out buying again. To be honest, it's felt like an early spring market so far this year, as some of that pent-up demand rolls over from the end of last year, when interest rates were boxing people out of the market. Let me break this down for you, though, into what it's like for buyers and then what it's like for sellers. For buyers in the market right now, you have a mixed up situation that I want to give you a heads up on. On the one hand, you have mortgage rates dropping, making things more affordable than they were just a couple months ago, just in terms of what your monthly mortgage costs look like and what you can qualify for. That's a big deal. On the other hand, we have not seen as many people listing their homes for sale yet this year. I'll explain that a bit more in the seller's half of the update. But the result, though, is that more buyers are out looking, but with less houses available. So we've actually seen some multiple offer situations on the houses that attract the most interest. Now, it's not the crazy offer 30 grand over on a house that's already falling apart like it was in the pandemic, and it's not happening on every house. But the ones that are priced competitively and are in good condition, we've seen more competition. My recommendation is to take both of these factors into account. If you've been waiting to jump in because of affordability, mortgage rates have been dropping, and it's a great idea to talk with the lender and see whether it's right for you financially at the current point. You don't know whether mortgage rates will be up or down in a few months, so I'd say if you want to buy, then look when you have the ability to. If you need a good lender to talk to, I have recommendations. If you want to shoot me a message, my contact info is in the description. And on the competition side, it's just something to be aware of that if you like a house, you might not be the only one. And if you lose out on a house, that just means there's a better one out there for you. It's about consistently looking, making smart offers. I provide research numbers for every house you're considering. When there's a competitive situation, it's about not getting too discouraged and continuing to go back out hopeful, because we will find you the right place. Now for the seller side. Like I mentioned, houses are selling again because there's renewed demand in the marketplace. And this is even leading to some houses receiving multiple offers if they're priced well and in good condition. One of the big factors that's driving this is the lack of inventory. Buyers have come back out earlier than sellers this year. I think this is a window of time though. So if you're thinking about selling, you might want to be smart about taking advantage of the opportunities you have in front of you. Here's what I mean. Traditionally, a lot of people wait until spring to make moves in the housing market. This is a long-standing trend. I've even heard agents say the housing market doesn't really start for the year until after the Super Bowl. Now, I'm going to call BS on that, and here's why. Buyers are out looking now, and there's not enough houses for them. The basics of supply and demand say that when you have something to sell, you're going to do best when demand is high and you don't have too much other supply to compete with. The reality is we don't know what the Federal Reserve is going to do to interest rates over the rest of the year. They could keep slowly declining and we could see a more steady year of activity. They could take a more moderate approach that roughly levels out in the area they are now, or they could pick back up another aggressive push to fight inflation, raise rates more, and practically stop buying activity again like they did at the end of last year. I personally think the moderate approach would be healthiest, But I'm not in charge, and we truly don't know what will happen. So if you were waiting till late spring or summer to sell because you think that's just when you'll have the best chance of getting a buyer, I think there's wisdom in moving up that timeline since you have less competition and the buyers are there now. Now, whether you're thinking now or later, I'd love to offer you a free selling consultation. With info about your specific property, I can do a lot more research to help you know what the numbers look like for you and help you make the best decision for your family, your house, since that's what matters most. Again, my contact info is in the description. All right, that's the news on the ground. Not as simple as some markets, but it's important that you have all the info to make good decisions. If you found any of that helpful, be sure to hit the thumbs up to help this info get out to more people. Now it's time to go a bit deeper. This is our Nerd Corner where I dive into the trends, statistics, news stories that are important for understanding the market. So for today's Nerd Corner, I think it's worth sharing some stats that just put hard data to the rise in homebuyer activity this last month. It's not just something that our team has been seeing, and it's not just something that's happening in our market. This is a nationwide trend. Here's what I'm looking at. These are press reports from the last 2 weeks of January from the Mortgage Bankers Association reporting the increase in numbers of new mortgage applications. These are nationwide, looking at all the people who have applied for loans to buy a house in the US. And what we see is in the middle of January, the number of mortgage applications rose by 27.9% from 1 week before that. And then the week after that, the number of applications rose again by another 7%. That is a sharp increase in the number of people buying a house in January, and that trend is going upward in these reports. And just to make the point from another source, would you believe it that home builder sentiment rose for the first time in a year in January? Because lower mortgage rates means more people are out buying houses, and so builders are feeling better because that means they can sell some houses. What this all means is that home buying conditions have been loosening the last month and a half. Easier buying conditions, in this case lower mortgage rates, leads to more buyer demand. Again, that's why I say it might be a smart time to think about moving up your selling timeline if you're a person who wants to sell a house this year. The fact is that we don't know what the later parts of this year are going to bring for the home market. What we know right now is that it's been easier to buy and sell as this year has started because mortgage rate conditions have improved. So we have this solid window of time right now. What we also know is that the Federal Reserve is watching the housing market and inflation numbers really closely, and they have a goal in mind. And that goal isn't for you to get into a house or to get your house sold. Their goal is to push the inflation rate down to a better level for the long term. So knowing that variable is out there, it might be smart to make a move sooner rather than later if these conditions are right for you. My goal with digging into this info isn't to scare you about the future. I'm actually really optimistic about the future. And especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I think we're going to continue to grow, and I'm excited to see what the next few years holds for our area. I do think it's important, if you're a person who wants to buy or sell a house this year, to lay out those relevant factors on the table so you can make decisions that are right for you. That's our Nerd Corner. Make sure you've dropped a like on this video to get this info out to more people, and maybe go ahead and share this with a friend to make sure they know what's going on in our market, especially if they're planning to move this year. Thanks for watching. My name is Chase Hansen. I'm a real estate agent serving buyers and sellers in the DFW North Texas area. If you or someone you know are looking to move this year, I would love to be the agent who helps you get where you're trying to go. You can email me directly at chasehansen@remax.net. Follow me on Instagram at HansenRealtorsDFW for more great content or to DM and connect. And you can find that contact info in the video description as well. Be sure to like, subscribe, and check out the other videos on my channel. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.